Hey, peace and love, family. Back is Walter Bay. I just want to do a video on something that's a much needed subject to really be talked about in a in-depth discussion, I'll say. And it's almost to the point where it's confusing some people in the community and they're not totally understanding. So I want to shed some light on this, give everybody some clarity that may not understand. The AA222141 and the full relevance of it. And I had to overstand this and get myself right and correct in the proper standing. And I'm also basically extending out the opportunity for everyone else that might not be in the same standing to get into that position. And what I mean is the AA222141, it's a copyright number in the Library of Congress. It's for CM-based copyrights. Anyone that may not know that brother, he was one of Noble Drew Ali's adepts. He was in the adept chamber, and the way the story goes is he was the only one that really was in there that didn't go off and become a millionaire and really sell the people out on the information and go mega preacher like. CM Bay took the works and he applied everything he could, and his final and most major effort in filing was when he filed into the Library of Congress all this Moorish information that we benefit from. And there are several Moorish nationality cards out there that have this number on there, and the people producing and even a lot of the people who have these cards don't have a copy of these copyrights, meaning they're not a claimant to this particular works. Now, I do understand as Moors, we do have a birthright claim to pretty much everything. That's common law, and I do agree with that. So you could say that, technically some of this stuff applies to you just by being a Moor. It does. But when you go into reality, you go into lawful status, you go into the maxims of law, where one of the maxims of law says that anything that can be proven must be proven. So to say that you have a nationality card bearing this number, but then you're not a claimant to this works, I've heard some Moors that would say you are guilty of copyright infringement. Now, I'm not sure if I would take it that far, because, well, one, it's not at that point an issue where Moors are trying to take each other to court or anything to say who really has rights over what, and things may get to that point at one point, which I really hope it doesn't, without extreme unity beforehand to only maybe knock out some agents. But as a reality, if you're not a claimant to these copyrights, technically, how are you using this number properly? I understand you can stand on your square, but quo warranto, by what authority? There's plenty of other ways you can stand on your Moorish birthrights without using this number, actually. So just to delve in a little bit deeper, the AA222141 certificate itself is it was filed in to the Library of Congress, and the dates on here. The received date is July 29th, 1952. The copies received, they have June 3rd, 1952. So in 1952, you know, and this was the last of a series of filings that CMB did, but he filed in under the title of the works, The Clock of Destiny, which studious Moors know that that's a book 1 and 2, but also the Moorish identification card with the Zodiac Constitution. And as the citizenship, he put down Moorish-American, which is very significant because we have all of this stuff filed into the Library of Congress. Now, real quick, family, let me give y'all an insight into what I'm looking at right now. All eyes on me. Let's switch that. Okay, here we go. This is my actual copyright seal, and as you can see, it was gold sealed, but I'm gonna go in AA222141, Class A, Form A. And this is the registration for the copyrights and additional claims, or for additional claimants, excuse me. But as you can see, it's everything I just named out: Clock of Destiny, Moorish identification card, and the Zodiac Constitution, which is another one. I didn't bring that up yet, but that's another real deep constitution. And like I said, as citizenship, we have Moorish-American down here. So in connection with it being, on my nationality card, you can say that I'm a claimant to these copyrights, to this AA222141. These are CMB's copyrights. He actually has 3 filed. This was one of the previous ones. It's AA77869. That was the first one, I believe. And this one here, this is the AA209316. And I have these other ones too. I just hadn't pulled them out. They're definitely in my binder right here with me. I'm real careful with pulling out the information. That's why I have copies and pictures of it. But these very significant filings and they're filed in the most de jure records in the country, and people don't really realize or take it like that. But the Library of Congress is the library for Congress. Now, Congress is a de jure branch of the government set forth by the Constitution. So, a lot of people, have been looking for this public filing, or the place of where to publicly file stuff, and it be legit, or whatever the Moors, the way they want to style it. Well, I would say there's no better place than to file a public record but into the Library of Congress, and actually filing for these copyrights and becoming a claimant. At that point, you get put into that system, as far as the Library of Congress knows who you are, and you're a claimant to these copyrights, which means you have the rights really to reproduction if you want to, but all rights and claims that can be made, you would at the point of becoming a copyright holder, it would all be lawful for you. And that's not, a slight on anybody out here that's making nationality cards or even has a nationality card with the AA222141 on there, but they don't have these copyrights. Now that I've got that part out, I do want to make it known that I'm recently been put into a high position in the Great Seal. That's the Great Seal National Association for Moorish Affairs. They have a Facebook page. Most people know about the Great Seal, as it's called in general. And there are plenty more out that are claiming to be part of the Great Seal, but might not necessarily be active. And I have no problem with these brothers, but right now in the territory known as Tejas, we're trying to unite anyone that is active, under the Great Seal. And you can reach out to me in my office, and we can get you the information needed, go through the right administrative processes to become a registered citizen or an officer as well of the Great Seal. And it'll just be a mere just reaching out to different regional commanders or emirs in certain territories to basically get you connected in with an officer that's closest to you, if there's no one in your territory at the time or your location. But getting these copyrights is pretty much the first step when you're going in, and you're trying to be part of the Great Seal. And as well, the Clock of Destinies 1 and 2, they can be ordered from RV Bay Publications, but there are other places to get them. Those are also very, very crucial documents for Moorish-Americans. Now, I'm not saying you can't navigate out here in commerce without these things, and still be considered a Moor. There's nothing that is, I would say, 100% necessary, except for your title, your free national title, your your Bay, your Ali, or any other that you may have or feel you want to acquire after such time. Per Resolution 75 in Pennsylvania, 1933, we pretty much have that leeway, that right, lawfully, to do what we want to with our appellations and our names, and pretty much operate the way we need to. So, I never knock people for trying different things or doing new processes, because anyone that knows me knows I'm always about, not being complacent with a remedy, but upgrading, because they're always constantly upgrading their system, changing different codes and policy. And, though they might not necessarily be de jure, they still try and hold your straw man to it. And until we get into our proper persons to the point where that doesn't even matter, because we're a total community that's on a Lodio land, united away from everyone, well, yeah, at that point, any of that stuff won't matter. But for the world we're living in, as long as we're still dealing in the matrix, it's still best to do any and everything you can to have, I would say, a defense. Because we know through, the years of times, the Crusades, they have edicts and papal bulls out saying that they came to conquer Moorish lands and subjugate Moorish people, and this stuff has never been ever repealed. So, we know, as far as lawful status, we have to keep on our game, keep on the up and up, because if someone's out to attack us, we need to have a strategy for that. And I'm gonna leave it at that. But I definitely want to keep this on y'all minds. Everybody, we should all be dealing with these copyrights for this AA222141. I think every studious Moor, should have these. If you're claiming any type of title, rank, or anything of any sort, especially if you have a nationality card that uses that number, you should definitely be a claimant, an additional copyright holder to these copyrights. So that's pretty much my discourse on this subject. I really could go in deeper, but there's certain things that we don't like to put out there in the public, because it's public versus private. We know they don't mix, and if we give out too many answers, they try and change up the matrix. There's a glitch in the matrix. Something happens, and they want to change things up. And as I also know, there are many Moors who have open active investigations. We never want to put too much remedy out there that would hinder some of these brothers and sisters. So, if y'all need anything, definitely reach out to me. We're getting our staff up out here in the Tejas territory, so anyone looking to come aboard, you can definitely reach out, whether in our territory or not. And, we're working on a lot of things, got a lot of new stuff coming up. We're definitely up in our professionalism. Thanks a lot, people. Peace in Islam.